2020 SGA Debate. Democratic process with you guys. And no, Kami and I did not coordinate our outfits, we just chose yellow. So we're going to introduce ourselves. First off, my name is Jake Myasinski. I'm a senior comm major, and I'm honored to be here tonight.
My name is Ukamushu. I go by Kami. I am a junior bio major, and I'm also honored to be here today.
All right, so we're going to get started off with a word of prayer. Kami's going to pray for us. So if you could join us in a word of prayer, that would be great. Thank you.
Father, Lord, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for the wonderful people who are here tonight. We thank you for our candidates. We thank you for your spirit that is here with us. We pray that this time will go well, that the candidates will have the eloquence to speak fluently, and they'll be able to express their ideas confidently. Thank you for the students that are here. We hope that you will be able to give them the grace and the wisdom to make the decision that they'll be confident with. Thank you for Jake and I. Thank you for giving us the eloquence that we need to speak well. Thank you for
Sweet. So we're just going to explain the structure of the debate night just so everyone knows what's going on and our candidates are filled in. So the first 45 minutes, so about until 7:15, we're going to go through a lot of questions for the candidates. We're going to have 1-minute responses. And just so everyone knows, when the bell rings, that means they have 20 seconds left. And we're going to keep it really tight. So once that minute's up, it's done. It's time to stop talking. Also, Kami's going to talk a little bit about the questions and how they're going to work for you guys and for the audience.
So the questions are going to go from general to specific. So we're going to ask the presidents to answer a question first, and then the vice presidents, and then all the candidates to answer a question. And then we're going to speak to each candidate or each candidate pair. And then there'll be a 15-minute break, and then 30 minutes of questions from the audience.
Awesome. So if everyone could pull out their phones or their laptops at this time, that would be great. And if you could go to your browser and just type in Slido.
I love everyone on campus and our peers and even our faculty. And listening is a form of act or
talk about it more than we do on campus. And also we would love to create more transparency between SGA and the student body and aware of what we do.
I'm running with America, body vice president.
He's currently on SGA. I really love that role, and I see like the kind of impact that I've had with my team and my cabinet now, serving under TED, and it's been amazing and fulfilling to see like that change can actually come from this position, and I think it also ties into why we picked the platform of having heart that people actually want and what the students desire to see change on campus.
I decided to run with a good amount of things within the student body. So one of the main things that I'm involved in is MCC, and more specifically La Alianza Latina. And so I want to be able to represent them as student body president, and I'm also on the track team as well, so I have
All right. Thank you for your responses. The next question is for the vice presidents. So we'll start here. Both of your platforms. How will you represent?
Yeah, so I think that emphasis on inclusive excellence has been great throughout the college recently. But what America and I are looking to do is try to serve the underrepresented students in racial groups, but also with students LGBTQ plus perspective on campus. So in seeking to try to understand what we can do for I think it starts with trying to create spaces for that. I think that begins with trying to create areas of discuss things openly like politics or mental health as well. So that begins with trying to model sage care in their groups. The small group discussion is beneficial to facilitating that conversation, because once we can produce it in a small group environment, we're able to engage it wider as a campus community. In doing that, we can help the students who feel voiceless be heard.
Well, I'm going to ask you the question one more time. Is that okay? Cool. Unity and diversity are themes that are present in both of your platforms, and how will you represent the voices of those not present on your cabinet?
Yeah, sure. I think to start, Betsy and I definitely, if we were to be elected, we'd definitely be looking to have a diverse cabinet with people, all different types of people with different viewpoints and different backgrounds. So that's something I wanted to start off with. But I think it also starts with listening and just being approachable, having open hours for people to come and to talk with, and just hearing about people's experiences. With them. Matter and working together. That's one of our big goals. So.
Thank you. Next question. You all will answer this one. So since the president and the vice president have different roles,
Seeing like what is the actual need of people on campus and kind of meeting with different leaders to see what they feel is something that needs to be changed. But one of the practical things that we want to tackle is kind of bringing those water bottle filters inside the academic buildings. So we kind of made a list and we talked to different people, and this was kind of what you guys came up with, and so that would be my first goal, to tackle that.
America?
So like our platform says, discussing mental health, I think that would be one of our main focuses. This is a topic that we can do it once and be done with it. Matt said we talked know what they needed, and we also were able to talk with the Engel Center and just heard what their needs were and like how we can best help them and kind of connect them with the student body and like let them know what they're thinking.
Thank you, America. Will, what is the first issue you plan on addressing once elected?
Yeah, I mean, a big part of my role is going to be supporting Betts as he's the president. So that'll be kind of coming alongside him and providing my perspective and, putting our heads together to think what would be best to do. We have a bunch of practical things we want to kind of do. One of them is the water bottles. Maybe more parking options on the weekends and spaces for commuters. I think just even some clarification related to parking. Like, it's really confusing, I think, for people. And if you're like in a parking space for 10 minutes and you come back and get a ticket, that's really frustrating. And so maybe bringing some more clarity to that. Just doing some practical things. And kind of an idea I had was maybe making service through the Agape Center, possibly a chapel credit, maybe to expand kind of what it means to express your faith rather than sitting and listening, kind of more of a doing sort of related addition to what chapel looks like. And it wouldn't be mandatory, so the people going to serve would actually want to be there serving. So that's something I might look into. But.
Finally.
So the largest responsibility for the student body vice president is chairing the student senate. So I think that there are fundamental issues in student senate. I think that the vertical mobility of student senate doesn't allow for students to kind of move up and become more involved in SGA. So the leap from becoming a student senator to becoming a position on the cabinet, the executive cabinet for SGA, I think that's too great of a leap. It doesn't allow to join the executive cabinet with more experience in SGA. So I think we need to begin to restructure student senates, that way there's more vertical mobility. And that will also allow for student retention, because one of the biggest problems facing student senate right now is senator retention. So we need senators into the space. So with understanding that that is the biggest responsibility for the student body vice president in this role specifically, I want to address both of those concerns following. And then I think first-year students next year are going to be a big help with Student Senate, and they're going to be really interested in this new system that allows them executive cabinet.
All right. All pairs, individual. For America and Matt, both you. While that is stressful, it takes place in November. How do you plan to holistically support students outside of the presidential election season?
Yeah, so I think that why we're putting an emphasis on the election in 2020 is because of the difficult conversations that are going to be occurring, regardless of whether or not that's coming transparently and openly. We want to be able to make conversation transparent and open so students are free to discuss it, regardless of their viewpoints politically. So that way when the election comes, students are able to discuss in a civil manner that allows for them to share their ideas. And then following that, once that open, transparent communication is available, students are going to continue in that forum. Although it may die down just because of the nature of political elections, I think it's also important that we maintain that environment, maintain that climate of students being transparent and open communication.
So yeah, but those, so we would like to incorporate maybe some chapels or to those elections and preparing them for how to discuss instead of coming at each other. And elections are over, to continue having civil discussions no matter.
Newsletters, and who would be in charge of that?
Monthly newsletters, and so also as a whole group come together and also with students.
Both. Bell rings, you will have 20 seconds. The next questions are for Yvetz and Will.
Unity is a lofty ambition. Give an example of your experience as a to the goal of unity campus-wide.
Could you repeat that?
Unity is a lofty ambition. You will pursue the goal of unity campus-wide.
Yeah, so personally, I think as a conflict mediator, it happens like every day among my friends and interactions with my peers. I think like my friends might have dilemmas, and I would be there to kind of support them and play that role for them in different situations. And I think one of the ways that we want to embody unity and kind of bring that upon here is, I think it first starts off with people feeling like a sense of belonging, and that's created through love, and it starts at an individual level where like on your floors, or for example like in your apartment, you start off with those kind of having those one-on-ones with people and kind of growing that and nurturing that. But then another way we would foster that is maybe having bigger events that encompass everybody together and bringing those small groups together and fostering those events. Yeah.
Thank you, Yvetz. Next question for Will. Within SGA, you represent the entire student body. Can you expand on how you will advocate for those on campus who are marginalized, and how you will at the same time represent students on campus who may disagree with your opinions?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think from our platform of Love, Listen, and Act, I think to start, we just really want to model what it looks like to care for people and to love people, whoever they are on campus. And we have a diversity of people on campus. And so, yeah, I think it starts with listening and it starts with hearing people. And I think also acknowledging where I'm making mistakes and being humble about it. If somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I think you messed up here," listening to them and moving forward together. Just coming at things with humility. Reaching different people, setting up meetings to talk with people. That's one of my favorite things. So setting up meetings with professors, with students, with different leaders of different clubs, and really hearing what's on their heart. And just sitting down with people so I can better understand what they're going through and better represent the college as a whole.
All right, thank you. Now we're going to move to individual questions, and we're going to start with America. So America, you mentioned inviting more local community members to speak at chapels or events. Who would you invite from the community, and would you bring voices to campus that you don't personally agree with?
So I don't know that I have anyone in particular that I would specifically invite, but I definitely would invite people who do have opposing viewpoints in mind, because I think that's important to get both sides of one story. And so I would definitely, because I believe something doesn't mean the whole population believes that, so it's good to know both sides of the story.
Next question for Matt. Could you expand upon your ideas for increasing your involvement in the Student Senate within SGA? What is your vision, and how will your vision for Senate translate into impact of the student body?
Yeah, so I think I addressed that in my last question pretty well. I think that the vertical mobility in Student Senate is essential to helping retain senators and helping them, progress in their involvement in SGA. And then also, I think first-year campaigning. Just because as we give senators a way for them to move up vertically, I think that will incentivize first-year students to want to step into these roles following their sophomore years. Then they can progressively get into the SGA executive cabinet in their junior and senior years. So I think that provides a more streamlined way for students to become involved in SGA. And that will retain them in the Student Senate. That will get a consistent flow of students into the SGA executive cabinet and get more candidates on the stage or up here running for student body president and vice president.
Thank you. Next question is for Yabet. Yabet, you mentioned wanting to increase communication and unity between administration and students. As the college transitions and the administration also responds to between two populations with busy and also opposite schedules, as most students have class when the administration is working and most staff wish to go home after their workday?
I think, in my opinion, if you really care about something, you'll take the time to set time out of your day for it. And I think that we do have administration. I think they. I think, students are very busy. We're all busy, and but I think
Experience as an RA will translate to service VP. Did you hear me okay?
And kind of what it means to be part of a team and how to work together. And there are going to be tough times, and kind of what does that arc look like kind of in the end. And so that'll be part of my role as vice president. And can you repeat the other part of it?
Yeah, the latter says, how is this personal form of leadership affecting?
Yeah, sure. I mean, being an RA being an RA was a tough job. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions, and sometimes knocking on those do. But I think it really made me more assertive and. yeah, and as well as the
So I still plan on attending LAL events, MCC events. It's still a big part of who I am, so I'd like to keep in touch with them. And as well with, in my major, I see a lot of athletes. Every day I'm here as a student athletic trainer, at least a couple times a week, but I get to hear what they have to say.
I'm so sorry. You mentioned using this position. How are you a better candidate than someone who...
Yeah, I certainly try my best to concerns anybody from different groups. Hey, look at me, I'm better, but
through GRE increasing their pay because they are currently the lowest paid position besides the position I serve on the SGA cabinet right now, Vice President of Student Review. I think that works.
Thank you. Helping students avoid take a breather. Will, you speak on helping students solving practical problems every day. What are some examples of these problems?
Yeah, sure. The practical problems are just like little things, just making life more convenient for everybody. Yeah, like an example would be more trash cans around benches on campus, staplers at every printer, just little life on campus, but just little things that make life easier for us every day. The tables outside there, in the springtime and when it's warmer weather, people love to sit out there, and maybe getting either more comfortable chairs or umbrellas to sit under to block the sun a little bit. So just little things like that. We talked to a student who really had a passion to get whole milk in Lottie. And so something like that would make a difference, and it's easier. It's not this big change. We're not changing the community covenant. I don't know if we could change visitation, but we're going to make these little changes that are practical, and I think can help make life better for everybody on campus every day. So.
Thank you. And Yabet, there are many benefits to the Intercultural Office. How do you specifically plan to raise awareness of the Intercultural Office and facilitate the transition of the Intercultural Office to a more accessible and open location?
yeah. So about that, apparently, which is a sad thing, but we use using those aspects to kind of bring awareness to that, and kind of maybe holding events together with each other, and that
As we think those are some of our goals that we have, and we do that we've mentioned so far that we.
What does reconciliation mean to you? How do you plan on achieving that in
Begins with I'm a Wesleyan